What's happening, everybody? Of course, it's your host, Brink Young, coming straight out of them South Memphis slums, and you are tuning in to the most award-winning independent talk show in the whole South, none other than BrinkTV. Now, as you can see, we've kind of changed up a tad bit. We're being a little bit more conservative this evening. I want you guys to tune in to this very special guest I have on tonight's program. We're talking about Dewayne Jackson. How you doing, sir?
I'm pretty well. How about yourself, my brother?
I'm doing amazing. First and foremost, I got to say thank you for coming on the show. It really means a lot to have you, with us tonight.
Right. I appreciate you for having me.
No doubt. Now, let's go ahead and get into the reason why you're here because, they like to say that it's two things that you're not supposed to talk about. One of them is religion, the other is politics.
Right.
We got to talk about politics. That way we can understand how we can help our community.
Absolutely.
So why are you here, sir?
So I'm Dewayne Jackson. I'm running to be your next Shelby County Probate Court clerk here in Memphis, Tennessee. And I just wanted to come out and introduce myself and, we have a couple conversations and do our thing.
All right. So, of course, I got to say that's amazing, Now, of course, we're going to talk about, probate court, because I have ties to it as well as you. But let's kind of do a little background if you don't mind. Like, let's talk about where you from exactly.
So I always like to say that I'm a native North Memphian.
Okay.
But I'm from North Memphis. I graduated from North Side. I've been educated here in the city. I'm from Klondike, Hollywood, Hyde Park. We lived over there near Valentine University for a long time.
Okay.
Growing up, Smoky City, Bree Love, Palmetto. So
yeah.
That's where I'm from. I'm a good old boy from the hood.
Okay. Well, that's cool. So let's go ahead and transition into probate court. Like, I'm gonna tell you how I was introduced to it. Most recently.
Not probation, but probate. But we're gonna get into it.
That's crazy. We know a lot of people on probate.
Right. Because sometimes we get it confused.
Okay.
And when we say probate, they think we talking about probation.
Okay.
But not that probation.
Okay. So, hey, we got all kind of education on this one. So y'all make sure y'all tune in.
Right.
So for me, of course, a lot of the viewers know, my brother, he passed a couple years ago. And no will, but definitely had life insurance. But things was turned over to, so obviously no beneficiary, no will. Things were turned over to probate court. And I'm like, what's that? My family were, unaware of this. So if you can, just explain probate court. What is it about?
So probate court is one of the court systems that's on the civil side.
Okay.
They deal with a lot of after death issues, will and estates, conservatorship, guardianships, things of that nature. But myself, when I was young, when I was 7, I lost my father.
Wow.
So that's how I got introduced to the probate court.
Okay.
Unfortunately, as a ward of the court.
Okay.
So my dad passed when I was 7. So I had to go from pretty much between the ages of 7 to 18 because my dad had passed and left me assets. Because I was a juvenile.
Okay.
The whole goal of the probate court was to protect my assets because I was a juvenile.
Okay.
So we had to go through a once a year thing, the checks and balances to keep an eye on the money and everything else and everybody.
Right. So it's pretty much like I guess you would say it's kind of like a system in place to protect assets from predators or people who may be, attempting to, come up from,
right. Or just protected from the system itself.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So it kind of has a special place in your heart. What made you want to run for this office?
So, like I say, I lost my dad. That was, tough. 7. You don't know what death is at 7.
Right.
But I lost my dad, and the political party that I'm associated with, the election was coming up, and we was all talking about discussing running, and the question about probate come up. And so me having some real meat and potatoes in the game with that, I felt that it was a good fit for me. And like I say, I had that lifetime experience, that life experience from dealing with that system. So I figured out, I figured it was the best spot for me.
I understand. Now, off camera, we was talking, and you also told me that, like, one thing you mentioned was, like, to make change, you can't just do it in your house or do it in your living room. You got to step up,
Right.
Tell the people why it's important for you to step up and try to make change in your community. Go ahead.
Well, sometimes it's things that go on in the community. And things that we won't change, but none of us really never step up and take the initiative to make those things happen. And so, like I say, when this situation come about, when the conversation come about, I'm thinking, man, this is one of the best time ever for me to really step out and do something for my community, because I've gotten tired of just sitting back and complaining about it.
Right.
Actions without work is dead. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
It's time for us to, if we really want to control the things in our community and our lives, we have to be the ones that fix it. Nobody's going to come in and give us this and do this for us. We got to put forth some type of initiative and look for the opportunities that we can change our things.
So let's get into the education aspect. Like you said, you come from, urban, the hood, like,
Right,
we can say that,
Right.
I come from the hood as well. I was unaware of probate. I don't know anything about it. Why is it important to educate people from our community or people from, where we're from about probate court?
Right. So, here lately, a lot of these talks have been about, creating generational wealth.
Right.
And just say if we was to be in a position to where we could snap our fingers and we could have generational wealth created for me or you, for our families right now, right? Say today we got generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Would we know how to preserve those wealth?
Nah.
Would we know how to protect them?
Nah.
You see what I'm saying? And see, a lot of those educational resources to put us in a position to be able to protect what we've worked and what we earned and create a legacy for our family, those educational resources are not out there.
Right.
And so that's one of the things that I want to be able to bring to the community, to the city, is a lot of those educational, financial education, those life educational resources to put us in a better position. It's all about positioning, bro. It's all about positioning.
Absolutely. So let's get into the actual voting aspect, because, this is Memphis, but can people in Cordova vote? Can people in Arlington vote? Or it's got to be just strictly in the city of Memphis?
So I'm actually running on a county-wide race.
Okay.
Meaning if you live in Millerton, if you live in Arlington, Germantown, Collierville, South Memphis, North, wherever, Frazier, you going to see my name on your ballot.
Okay.
Because it's a county-wide race. It's not, to a certain area or whatever.
Okay. All right. So as far as voting, like when is the election? Like when can people go vote?
So you'll see my name on your August the 4th of 2022
Okay.
general election.
Okay.
So August the 4th of 2022 this year, that's when the general election will happen.
Okay. So, like, what can the people, because my viewers, I'm going to be honest about my viewers,
Right.
those are the best and brightest, I say
The
that.
best ever.
But like, they want to know, what are they getting for their vote?
Right.
I mean, why should they vote for you?
Right. Why should they vote for me? So, man, it's like, for me, you have to be accessible to people. Because a lot of people, I ain't knocking nobody. Everybody do their thing. But if you vote for them today and you call them or need them tomorrow, you can't get them.
Wow.
And I'm all about being accessible and try. Because, I mean, if I win an election, and that's my job now, my job is to be accessible for you and the community. That's my job. And that's what I plan on doing. Like, you get paid well enough to be there and to be resourceful to the people.
Yeah.
So, like, just, man, coming to work, you know what I'm saying, putting forward the best energy and the best love, care, and respect. And, that's what I'm all about, bro.
Yeah. Off camera, we talked about, the whole, process, because, you got people that's dealing with, the loss of a loved one.
After
they're
death
emotional.
issues, right.
They're distraught. Some people, like we said, are unaware of the whole process. They don't know what to do.
Right.
When they come into your office, what could they expect?
Right. So, like I say, it deal with a lot of after-death issues. But one of the things that I wanted to bring to that office is a lot of what's missing when you deal with different entities throughout the city, that whole love and that whole care and that whole compassion.
Yep.
Because you think about it, you going into this office, you've lost somebody. You in a certain type of emotional state. You need somebody, even though that's not their job to come out and hug you, but you may need a hug.
Right.
You may need that extra kind of love.
Right.
Because we all go through, one thing we gonna all have to face in life is death.
Yep.
And if we better prepared to how to deal with the after death issues with our people, or to set it up, the better off our family will be. You better off our legacy will be.
Yeah. And I think it's incredible that you say that, man, because that's one thing that I've noticed over the years is there isn't much comfort when it comes to going to, I guess you'll say government affiliated
Right,
places. You know,
right,
everybody they
right.
treat it just like a job. You know, sometimes you get rude and sometimes you get
Right, right.
different things like that. But to hear that you would bring the spirit of comfort to people, I think that's amazing. That's definitely a good reason to vote for you. What's all your social media and ways that people can contact and donate and all of that? How could they do that?
Okay, so my social media on Facebook is Dewayne Jackson at Facebook.com. Instagram is Dewayne_Jackson901. That's on Instagram. Like I say, this website, my campaign website is VoteJackson901.com. And of course, I love giving my phone number out. I'm gonna probably regret that one day, but it's all good. So it's 901-674-9170. You can call, text, whatever. Just try not to call me too late, but I love you.
All right, and you did say that anyone can vote, providing that you're a registered voter.
Right.
And where could they go to know which precinct they would have to vote
So the state of Tennessee has a website.
Okay.
I believe it's Go Vote TN.
Okay.
And you can probably you can source a lot of that where to vote from my website because it's a register to vote tab on my website.
Okay.
But you can source that information. So, and like I say, reach out to me. You know, on the day of the election, you know, we can kind of help, you know, navigate because I mean it's public information.
Absolutely.
You know, you can go on the state's website to get an idea of where, because you know everybody got a different voting precinct throughout the city.
Okay.
So you have to vote at the right place.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, you guys make sure. Nah, I won't even do that. I'm gonna let you do that. I want you to look into this camera right here and tell the people what they should be doing August 4th. Go.
August the 4th, I need your help, your love, your prayers, and your support to come on out. We can figure out what voting precinct, man, and cast your vote for Dewayne Jackson for Shelby County Probate Court. And I really appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it no better myself. I got to say thank you again for coming on the show. It really means a lot to have you. And people, please educate yourself on these things. Like I say, I myself had no idea of probate court, didn't know what it was about. Like he said, I was, emotional at the loss of my brother. But having that education at the time would have helped a lot. And this is one person that will definitely educate our community, our people on that. With that being said, thanks again for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, brother, for having me. Appreciate
No doubt.
you.
With that being said, now back to more Brink TV.